glad to have you back. You're still watching Newspaper Review on High Impact Television. We have our guest joining us virtually now. Good morning, Alex. Thank you for joining us on the review.
Yeah, good morning. How are you doing there?
I'm very well, thank you. It's good to have you on the show this morning. All right,
Yes, the pleasure is all mine.
All right, very quickly, let's move on to what we have this morning, talking about insecurity. I'm sure you got the report how there have been calls for the president of the country, Muhammadu Buhari, to declare bandits as terrorists to help fight them better. Let's begin from there. What's your opinion on declaring bandits terrorists? Would that really solve the insecurity challenge the country is facing?
Yeah, I think the issue of bandit being declared terrorists is not something we've been debating from today, especially if we want to think of what terrorism mean, right? So this supposedly are smaller groups of people within a state who are counter public or who are like against the state, as it were. And if you look at every activities of the bandits against the Nigerian state, it's obvious that they are overdue being proscribed a terrorist group. They've attacked every possible social space in Nigeria. They've attacked the IDP camps. They've attacked schools. They've disrupted how our education system works, especially in the north. So if you want to start going on, and just recently they attacked the railway between Abuja and Kano. So maybe if we give them some breathing space, then people can walk on the road, people can walk on the railway. Maybe sometimes people won't be able to fly anymore. So, and this is one of the things that I feel sorry for the leadership of Nigeria, especially in the presidency, because there are signs as to what is going on to help us know where to go in terms of the direction. If people had, by their action, made our motorways like the express road unlivable for people, and then they go over to the rail lines to disrupt people's movement, then there are every sign that these people, one of these days, they are going to shoot down a plane in this country.
All right. So you talked about how this is the way to go. Yeah, there have been calls from Nigerians that if these people are declared bandits, they would the country as a whole would get international interference in battling with these bandits. How so?
Getting international interference, I'm not sure what that would mean. But again, Nigeria is still a sovereign state, right? So I feel like as a sovereign state, we have the capacity to know what's best for us. If we think we need international support in any way for counter-terrorism operations in Nigeria, then we can take that route the best way possible. Of course, learning from our last experience, right? If you remember during I think Goodluck Jonathan, he employed some foreign expertise to combat terrorism in Nigeria. For all we know that in some areas it was effective. So I feel like strongly we can learn from some of the things we did right during that time and things we could improve on. But I still feel like Nigeria has all the best support possible in gathering intelligence about the operation of terrorism or bandits in Nigeria. Nigeria had signed bilateral agreements with our neighboring countries in Sudan, in Niger, and many other countries surrounding Nigeria, right? Just to make sure that they are able to track movements of small arms into Nigeria and other things, and maybe possible money laundering. So I don't think we don't have the right structure or collaborative effort to combat what we want to do. The problem we continuously have and face in how government deal with issues that either threatening our social space or that threatening our coexistence is in their will, to effect some of the policies that they have lined out. We have great policies. We have some of the best policies in the world when you read them on paper, but it's always very difficult in terms of how we utilize the, the manpower or the human resources that we have on ground to get this to the letter. So
All right.
that's what I feel.
Very well broken down. Now, interestingly enough, I'm sure you have heard of the controversy surrounding Islamic cleric in person of Sheikh Ahmad Gumi. It is no news to say that in time past, he has come out to talk about how he has been in talks with bandits, placing requests in quotes for these bandits to the federal government. And after the statement about declaring bandits terrorists was made, he also came out to say that it wasn't the right move to take, that if the federal government, if the president declares bandits as terrorists, it would increase the insecurity situation in the country. What do you make out of that first?
Again, leadership, responsibility, and accountability in the part of the presidency and some of the states, right? Because the Nigerian government, most of them, both at the federal level and at the state level, right? They had left their responsibility and given a vacuum for somebody, if I may say with all honesty, who is nobody in Nigerian space to have a voice. Because obviously when the state government or the federal governments are not doing their duty, they are giving more room for people to take up, leadership responsibility. This is the same vacuum that give room and life to persons like Sunday Igboho, right? It's the same room and vacuum that gave life to somebody like what's this IPOP leader's name, Nnamdi Kanu, right? It's the same vacuum that Sheikh Gumi is feeling now.
But
and if you look at Sheikh Gumi's profile, who is he? If you go to Google and you search for him, you would literally find little thing about what he has done that affect the people in terms of his leadership quality, right? And this is the same person who, as an Islamic leader, as an Islamic person, who is supposed to be speaking for the people.
So let me butt in here a bit.
Yeah.
You talked about Sunday Igboho and Nnamdi Kanu. Now, Sheikh Gumi, has appealed to the Southwest governors as well as the leadership of the country as a whole to engage secessionist leaders like Sunday Igboho and Nnamdi Kanu, the way he's engaging bandits, that this would, cause a pause, or this would help to solve the insecurity challenge the country is facing.
But I think it's an insult. It's an insult to equate Sunday Igboho's stand. As much as many of us know that some of his stands doesn't really, it's not in the highest moral, elevation within the state contest. But it is an insult to equate the bandit with Sunday Igboho's and Nnamdi Kanu's movement, because these are non-violent movements in most of the case, in most instances, right? These are bandits who are killing people, who are kidnapping people, who are disrupting state functions, compared to somebody who is just vocal about their displeasure about the Nigerian state, right? So if we weigh the consequences of one people's action, and you said these people's action, and then you now bring Sunday Igboho and Nnamdi Kanu into the same circle of murderers, of people who have crimes on their hands against the state, and you said these other people should be given amnesty, in fact, there was a time he said he should give them blanket amnesty.
Yeah.
Do you understand? And when you start looking at all these things, and the amount of energy Sheikh Gumi spending defending the bandit as to defending the Muslims that are being afflicted by bandits as well, or by spending the same energy on speaking on behalf of the public who has lost their children's life, who had lost their farms or means of livelihood, or who had lost their homes, You are not even speaking of the consequences of the action of these people against the common man.
Okay,
But
so
you have all the audacity to speak about
right.
the bandits at the highest level. I don't think there's any life to give to somebody. I mean, to somebody's word like Sheikh Gumi,
Right,
because
right.
it's only dividing the community. It's only dividing the Nigerian state even more.
Interesting to know that we've had this conversation quite a couple of times, and it seems like nothing is being done about it. Now, there has been increased pressure and increased calls for Sheikh Gumi to be arrested. How feasible do you see this coming through?
I'm not sure it's going to happen anytime soon, right? Because the same state that fears to take the most decisive action against the bandit will also be afraid of doing that to somebody like Sheikh Gumis, whom, as at today, Nigeria don't even have a detailed profile of who he is and his connection with the bandits, right?
Right.
If he has at one time negotiated with the state and the bandits, then he's as knowledgeable to know what the state is capable of and what the bandits are capable of.
Don't you
And
think?
so I feel,
Okay, I'm with you. I'm
I
with
feel,
you.
yeah, I feel strongly like the state. Again, this is a state that has promised over and over again that we are going to get to the end of the bandits in a month's time, in 2 months' time. So the states at this time had not shown like a very decisive direction as to what action they want to take against terrorism and banditry in Nigeria. So I'm very afraid to trust the direction they are going to take against Gumi,
All right. So
especially in putting him in his place.
all right.
You
So
know,
there are some people, some Nigerians of the opinion that Sheikh Gumi, should be used as a link to get through to these bandits, that the federal government should take advantage of all of this knowledge Sheikh Gumi has to get linked to them. Do you think that can happen, considering the fact that most of the comments Sheikh Gumi makes seems to be in defense of these bandits?
so again, I think most of Nigerian public don't understand the power that the government has in terms of coordinating and also the resources available to them to gather intelligence, right? If the Nigerian state in the armed forces, in the police, and in all that kind of security structure that we have, really want to get to the bottom of what we are dealing with in terrorism in all these spaces, they would do it in less than 6 months. Because all these people that we are looking for, that they are ghosts today, they are not ghosts, right? They are people that can be tracked. Remember, just about maybe some months ago, maybe 5 months ago, or maybe between 4 to 5 months ago, when the president was traveling out of Nigeria, I think to UK for an holiday, he said precisely, giving a direction to DSS and members of the security cabinet that he wants all the finances of these terrorism activities in Nigeria to be brought to book. But what happened? He left for the holiday, he came back. Did we get any report? So that's the same problem we are dealing with. If without Gumi, if the people within the security architecture of Nigeria would want to, map out a strategy to clamp down on the activities of those people, they could. So either arresting Gumi for supporting, especially I agree with some of the analysts, especially I was listening to Arise News yesterday, and who said with what Gumi has done in the past, in terms of his consistency about how he has been supportive about the action of the terrorists, his action should be also tagged hate speech.
Yeah.
Because you are supporting
all of this.
They are supporting immorality and high standard of decadence against the Nigerian people who suffered from the hands of the bandits on a daily basis without any form of remorse.
Very quickly, before I wrap it up with you, I would like to ask, if you could lend one advice to the federal government right now on how to tackle insecurity, it spans through several areas. What would it be? What method, what strategy do you think should be adopted at this point?
the strategy to adopt going forward is, one, the federal government or the state government have to first be responsible to the people and not believe every time that when people make claims about the insecurity in their society or in their communities, it's false news first. This is what brought us here. They must be able to coordinate effectively at the grassroots level, and there must be a very good synergy between the local government security, task force, and the state and at the federal level.
Right.
We've seen cases in today's Nigeria where people are supposed to be leading and governing small spaces, like local governments, like small districts, are nowhere to be found. Councillors don't live in their communities. Local government chairman don't live in their communities, right? And sometimes governors would prioritize maybe going somewhere else than attending to the affairs of their state.
Right.
It is only when people within elected office in their local communities and in their district jurisdiction act decisively
and
come up with a more synchronizing strategy that connects local security task force that we have with the states and with the federal government. In a way, they are interlinked between our routes in terms of land boundaries, right? That most of our security people are working in. So there are areas where we have local security forces. There are areas where we have state security forces. There are areas where we have federal security forces. There must be a very good operational communication that they can work on in terms of how they utilize the kind of intelligence that is coming out from the grassroots, and that can help, check boundary crossover of either kind of any form of terrorism in a way. But today in Nigeria, you see DSS saying something that is counterproductive to what the Nigerian police force is saying.
Right.
Or that what Nigerian police force is saying is counterproductive to what some of the state police structure that we have is saying. So I think, harmonizing that will help us a long way. In a way, and it is not until we do that we can earn the trust of people, because there had been a time when the security force said, "Oh, the Nigerian public are not cooperating with them in giving them information."
I'm sorry, I'll have to butt in here.
Yeah.
We believe that all of these strategies and measures you've dished out would be adhered to, and we'll see a change. I'd have to end the conversation here with you because of our time, but definitely would have you join us again on the review to talk about this and more stories in time to come. Thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Thank you, Sarah.
Do enjoy the rest of your day.
To everyone there.